Happy Friday, Coast Life, and kicking off a pretty busy weekend at that. We're your hosts. I'm Leah Rizzo.
And I'm Charlie Sokaitis. Busy indeed. In fact, I'm going to be out at the British Car Show in Lewis alongside Christina DiRobertis.
Yes.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, my car expertise is going to come into play as judging. I'll go, that looks pretty. I like that one.
There's a car.
It has all four wheels, you say.
I'm the epitome of the joke where it's like the check engine light comes on and you're like, yep, still there. That's my car knowledge.
That's a thing.
So that's why I'm not the judge of this event.
What else is going on this
Oh,
weekend?
plenty. For those of you who love shopping a good farmer's market, don't forget the historic Lewis Farmers Market is also opening for their 20th season this weekend. Plenty of fun there in Lewis. Also something important, if you remember earlier in the week, we talked with the folks who were shining a light on human trafficking.
Very
Heavy
touching
topic.
segment there, too. It really was. If you missed it,
Yes.
go back and watch it.
Highly recommend checking that out. But we just want to remind you that that event is happening Sunday at Cape Henlopen High School. So even just to, they're just going to dive into so much. Again, it's a heavy topic, but it's a really important one, I think, to highlight, to work out, to know what kind of signs to look for, because I think there's a huge disconnect between sort of the stereotypes of victims of human trafficking and how it actually happens.
Yeah.
So just a really informative event. So something else to check out. Also, just another quick reminder before we dive into what we're talking about. If you love what you see here on my side of the Coast Life couch, it's because I'm sporting some water lilies. You can always check out their website. You can hop into either of their boutiques. There's one in Bethany, there's one in Ocean View, and you're just going to fall in love with all the clothes and, of course, the folks that make water lily so special. But yesterday, we were talking a little bit about some of the money saving tricks out there.
I just want to preface this by saying I don't buy what we're about to say.
You're not buying into this one?
I don't think it's effective. I don't think it'll work.
This one's a little controversial. It's not exactly a hack, but they're calling it the treat yourself tax. Yes. Many of us out there enjoy a tasty little treat, a little something extra while you're running around on your weekend errands. Maybe that's a coffee. Maybe that's, a little stop and shop moment. And you're like, oh, I needed this. And it's a handbag. They say that in order to save that kind of impulse buy money, whatever you spend on that, so whatever you spent on that coffee, you put that same amount in your savings account.
Listen. There's a lot of things that are a good idea in theory, and then there's putting it into practice. And here's a good example. I, every week, have a certain amount of money that comes out of my check and goes into my savings.
Same.
And then the next day, I promptly move that back into my checking because I need the money.
Yep.
So, like, if you're talking about, if you're so strapped that the treat yourself is a coffee or maybe a shirt that's like less than 50 bucks, maybe it's 25 bucks, 30 bucks, but you really have to go like, this is a treat for me. Maybe I'm overextending myself here.
Right.
You can't probably doubly overextend yourself to put that money in the savings, which you probably need to just pay the bills of the day.
Yeah.
So I don't think that this works at all unless you're somebody that already has enough money. Unless you already have enough money that you don't have to be worrying about the treat yourself fine anyway.
And that's kind of what they were already saying, is that this really applies to, either your impulse shoppers, people that are a little bit more familiar with the cost of their Starbucks order and what that is, as opposed to their savings account, which, like, if you already don't know what's in your savings, chances are you're not that worried about money. You might not know it to the cent, but you got a rough idea what's in your checking and savings account.
But I always think that these tips are meant to help people that are struggling, and the struggling people don't have the extra money to then set aside.
Exactly.
So it just doesn't, it's like trying to, eat soup with a fork. It's not going to work.
No, I think that's true. They do say some other viral hacks. Obviously, this one is appealing to, I think, a lot of folks on TikTok, but screenshot the thing that you want and wait before buying. And this plays a little bit into more of what we were talking about yesterday, that kind of 24-hour rule.
Cooling off period.
Yep. They say follow that 1% rule. That's what we talked about. Don't buy it if it costs more than 1% of that yearly income without sleeping on it first. But we're not entirely buying into the treat yourself tax.
Yeah, I just don't. I think that the people that it's intended to help can't actually afford to put that extra money away, because if they could, they wouldn't be sweating the thing they're treating themselves to.
It does feel a little bit like, hey, from one rich kid to another, here's my money saving hack.
Or it's like, it'll be some article, it'll be like, how I paid off my student loans in 5 years, and it's like, didn't buy as much coffee, didn't do this, got a $40,000 loan from my parents. Like,
Yep.
it doesn't really
It does feel a
apply to
little
most
bit
people.
like that. So if you hear or see or come across the treat yourself tax, maybe think a little bit harder on that one before you necessarily apply that to your own life if it's not going to work for you. Something else we wanted to talk about, and I think this is a good conversation topic to have, especially with your opinion and my opinion on this.
Are we setting ourselves up for a fight here? It sounds like I'm in trouble.
No, we're not. I think this is actually just good to have a male perspective and a female perspective on this exact topic, which how many times has maybe you've been in a space with somebody, one person starts getting a little worked up because there's a problem afoot, and then you come in with your mighty solution and say, calm down.
Yet calm down has never calmed down any situation in the history of time, dating back to the first man who uttered calm down to his wife. Like it's never worked. I'm not even saying that I've never uttered the words to somebody in my life, but there's a 0% effectiveness rating on that sentence. Like,
yeah.
It has never once led to anybody calming down. I mean that if it's a spouse, I mean that if it's a friend, I mean that if it's a kid,
yes.
It's a 0% effective rate.
Right, and I think that sort of, I wonder if it's just this calm down kind of ends up the catch-all of all of the things that maybe when you are talking to like a crying toddler, you might walk them through, where it's like, okay, deep breath, some of the things that you might use to calm a kid down. And then as you get older, you're just like, calm down.
But calm down is just disregarding the emotions that are going on at the moment. It is to say, stop feeling what you're feeling.
Yes.
And people can't. That's not a capability most people have.
Right.
If you're in the place where somebody needs to say calm down to you, you're probably already not going to be receptive to that sort
buttons.
of demand, request, whatever you want to call it.
But I'm curious if, like, how many times has somebody told you to calm down?
Not enough that I can even remember one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it's happened, and I'm sure it happened when I was a kid, and maybe a handful of times as an adult, but it's...
Well, I've got a working theory here as to whether or not, men use calm down towards women more than the other way around. And perhaps that's why we hear it more often, and it's been stereotyped as like, oh, you don't tell a woman to calm down, because we know how it feels. It feels dismissive. It feels like you're not being heard. It feels like, you're just kind of, your emotional state is being pushed aside and put over there.
It's being discounted.
So we don't use it as often because we know how it feels.
I've seen it used both ways.
Sure.
I think in my specific case, I tend to just not be that aggravated by things in general.
Fair.
So that might be part of my life. But either way it's used, though. Man to woman, woman to man, woman to woman, man to man.
Right.
It's just not effective because, again, it is disregarding the feeling that's leading to the emotion. And if you don't address that, you're not getting anywhere. You're basically just saying, ignore everything you're feeling right now.
Right.
And that's an ineffective way to communicate.
I think one of my favorite communication hacks, if you will, that I've seen get passed around online is when somebody is having a rough time or they're just trying to vent a little bit, you start with, are we looking for solutions or are we looking for just, just listening?
It is the most important thing.
You everything.
It's the most important thing I learned in my relationship lives over, 20 years of figuring it out, like determining whether a solution is what's being asked for or just or just root them on and let them go and be like, yes, I'm on your side. What you say here is making a lot of sense. Because those are two different things. And I think that it is typically, and I'm not even sure why this is the case, but typically guys they hear a problem, they're going, how can I help? How can I solve this problem?
Yeah.
But a lot of times women are not specifically looking for a solution.
Well, because I think a lot of times when we vent, it's because we often already kind of know the answer. And when you know the answer, you don't like to be told the answer that you already know is true. So you're like, let me just walk through these steps and be upset about it. And then we'll revisit this after a meal.
These are similar landmines that people walk on in relationships left and right, and you just have, there's no way to learn it but to learn it. Like,
this is true.
You have to go through a couple experiences where it just doesn't go how you wanted it to go.
True. So maybe eliminate calm down from your lexicon when somebody is starting to get a little emotional. They're feeling their feelings. Maybe back it up and ask, hey, what can I do for you right now? And see if that works any better for you. But we've got some Coast Life to get to. Let's see what's coming up today on the show.
When God sits on his mighty throne and says, what shall I make today? He don't grab a drawing board, ain't no mistakes, the man don't play.
We're gonna pop in on the Milton Theatre. They've got their great new show, Bear, a pop opera, coming up. You're not gonna wanna miss some performances we show you. Exquisite.
No, you're not going to want to miss any of that. Also, if you are ready to open your home to a four-legged friend, we've got a cute pup to introduce you to as well with our Pet of the Week.
And grab the trophies. We're handing them out along with a few pop culture clips. It's your winners of the week.
All that fun is coming your way today on Coast Life.
Coast Life is sponsored by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
We always love supporting the arts on Coast Life, and there is a great new play just about to drop. It is called Bear, a pop opera here in Milton. We're at the Milton Theatre. We've got some of the great actors here for the show. Guys, tell me your name. Give me your actor or your character name as well.
My name is Marcus A. Brooks, and I play Peter.
And what does Peter do in this play? What is sort of his vibe?
So Peter, he's kind of they all go to, all the students go to a Christian boarding school. So that's kind of about the vibe of it all. And Peter's kind of struggling. He has a situation where he has a boyfriend who's not quite ready, not quite sure if he wants to come out. And so he kind of has that struggle with that. And he kind of makes his way through a struggle with his faith as well. So it's pretty interesting.
So he's got some conflict in there, and some things to resolve. And what about you? What is your real name and your character name?
Yeah, my name's Erica Walker, and I play Nadia.
And tell me a little bit about Nadia. What is she going through?
Yeah, Nadia is kind of dealing with all of the existentialism that comes with being in high school and having a brother who is an overachiever and learning to go against what the box society has kind of put her in, and supporting the journey of the rest of the characters as well.
What do you think the most difficult part about getting into this character was for you, and what's the most enjoyable part?
Totally. The most difficult part was kind of dealing with how it relates to my personal life and my journey, and balancing being on stage with what's real to you. And the most fun part is just getting to sing these amazing songs with a really wonderful group of people.
And we have one more to get to here. Give me your real name. Give me your character name.
Yes, my name is Darla Arnett, and I'm playing Sister Chanteau.
And Darla, what are some of the songs that you guys are going to be singing? What is this event for somebody that is unfamiliar with the play?
So one of the most famous songs in Bear Pop Opera is God Don't Make No Trash. And you'll hear me sing that through this entire run. So I'm excited for that.
When you guys decided that you wanted to be involved with this, was it the play that drew you to this itself? Was it, some of the other people involved? What was the reason you wanted to be here?
For me, this is such a beautifully tragic story. And I fell in love with the music and the story and the character of Sister Chanteau. She kind of lays down the law and brings some life and fun to the character and to the show. So that's what drew me to it.
And you guys are starting up real soon. What does anybody need to know if they want to come see you?
If you want to come see me, get your tickets. We open May 1st, and we're going to, give you all we got and, make this an enjoyable experience for everyone.
Well, we've got 3 great performers with us here, so we're actually going to let them do a little of the performing here when we come back. We're going to take a break, but there is more from the Milton Theatre coming up on Coast Life.
Well, before the break, Charlie Sokaitis was hanging out at Milton Theatre to talk about their upcoming show. Actually, tonight is the opening night of their show, Bear, a pop opera. There's plenty of opportunities to see this show, so make sure you head to miltontheatre.com and look up all of the shows that are running. And also keep an eye out for auditions. If maybe you've got somebody interested in the performing arts, they've got plenty of that as well. But as always, there's fantastic performances to see. We are going to get a little taste, a little sneak preview of some of those performances happening in Bear, a pop opera. But just wanted to reiterate how much fun it is to go see a show at the Milton Theatre. I've had the opportunity to do that a couple of times went to see Legally Blonde last summer. It was so much fun. They even did themed drinks and cocktails. So it's just a really, really fun night to get out of the house and to go see a show. So we're going to check back in with Charlie Sokaitis, who's still hanging out at Milton Theatre. Charlie, what's going on?
We're here at the Milton Theatre. We are ready to celebrate the play Bear, a pop opera. But listen, I got no pipes. I got no way to get involved in this. We want to show you what you're going to get a taste of. So we're going to give each one of our actors here a quick chance to give you a few bars. Here you go.
Thank you. But Jason, what role do I play? Am I a savior or a phase? Am I here to damn you or to help you navigate this maze where confusion is a crime? So you fill your life with sound, and if you dance like hell, you hope you'll never touch the ground.
Love it. Love it. Pass it along here.
Passing to productive hours, flipping through 100 pages. What a tale of star-crossed lovers. Life has lived on other stages. Pain adores me. God ignores me. Always sinking, thinking.
And pass it on down.
When God sits on his mighty throne and says, what shall I make today? He don't grab a drawing board, ain't no mistakes, the man don't play. He simply opens up his heart. Out come a tumbling works of art. God don't make no trash.
Oh my gosh, you guys are incredible. That is 3 great performances right there. Those are just snippets, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to give you that for an entire show. You got to get down here again. This play, it begins on the 1st. You're going to want to get those tickets soon because I have a feeling you're in for something special here at Milton Theatre. We have more Coast Life coming up after the break. Oh, it is my favorite segment of the week. Every week, we've got the awards out. It's your winners of the week. It was a good week, Leah.
It was a good week, and I think I do a different little theme song intro for our winners of the week every time. Some sort of different variation of da 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 da.
I haven't checked, but maybe if I go back, that might be a little. We might be able to layer those in a row.
We could see.
We'll see what
how
happens.
much variation there is in that. But we've got lots of winners to get to because, like you said, it has been a good week.
So who's your first winner of the week?
Now, mine didn't time out exactly right with the week because last Saturday was Independent Bookstore Day, which is the last Saturday in April. So we didn't get a chance to really shout them out in their full glory. So I thought to Independent Bookstore Day, you get the Reading Rainbow Award.
Take a look, it's in a book, a Reading Rainbow.
I loved me some Reading Rainbow growing up. One of my favorite programs to watch. And you know what? It's not my only program that I loved to watch as a kid. Sesame Street was right up there. And as we have finally, seemingly broken through and gotten some nice weather, I'm going to give them the Sunny Days Award to the weather that we've had.
There you go.
Sunny days sweeping the clouds away. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
A well-deserved award and a perfect fit, I think, for the day. So another award, and this one is another one that doesn't quite perfectly time out right, but I feel like I have to take this opportunity to use this soundbite because we are now officially in the month of May. I'm giving them the Justin Timberlake In Sync. It's gonna be May.
Guess what? It's gonna be May.
That's going to ruin the tour.
I know.
Maybe even the world tour. Moving on, I'm going to give you guys my last win. Now, this is not a commentary on the ability of the joke teller. But Leah Rizzo was out on the street, on the boardwalk, doing a little joke telling. Let's take a quick look at that.
How do billboards talk?
Oh, I don't know.
Not a good one. Ready to roll your eyes? Sign language.
And it's the jokes themselves that I'm going to give the John Mulaney doing Mick Jagger not funny joke.
I pitched him a joke and he went, not funny.
I can only imagine Mick Jagger wearing tight leather pants, yelling at John Mulaney. That's something that he wrote, who is an innately hilarious person, just wasn't funny.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes it's jokes like neighborhoods that clear things. Not funny. If you remember, that was my favorite joke of Monday to tell, and I was so excited because we do. I put all those jokes in that jar and I randomly pull them, and when I pulled it, I was like, yes. But there you have it, our winners of the week.
Our winners of the week.
Don't forget, you can always submit some winners of your own. Maybe something good happened this week or something's going on around town you want us to award one of these fantastic trophies to. Just let us know, team@coastlife.com. But we still have some more show to
We
get to.
do. We got a little bit more to get into.
We know you love the performing arts. We know you love the visual arts, and you can celebrate both of those at Bowers Beach every third Friday of the month. Also, we're going to introduce you to this week's Pet of the Week, an adorable little pup looking for their forever home. And the Derby is this weekend, and we're going to get an expert opinion on who he thinks is going to win the Derby. All of that fun and more is coming up for the rest of Coast Life. Celebrating the arts is something we love to do here along Delmarva's coast, and a spot that you may not always be looking for the arts is Bowers Beach. But we're here to guide you to why you should be doing that. We've got Tink Tocco joining us, Director of Operations with First Beach Music and Arts Show. Now, this is something that you guys started last year, correct?
3 years ago.
3 years now.
Yes, and with the partnership with WBOC, that's growing for this free event in Bowers Beach, and it's the third Friday of every month. May, June, July, August, and now we added a 5th show in September.
Nice.
Let's talk about what the event is.
Yeah.
Let's walk us through, for anybody that wants to maybe looking for things to do, but they don't know what's going on here, fill them in.
Like I said, it's a free event, outdoor concert. We started a thing called, it's like an Andy Warhol, 15 Minutes of Fame. We have 3 locals that come in, Chaz Barker with his daughters, and they sing for 15 minutes, and Captain Thumper, he owns the Maggie S. Myers, and it's the oldest working schooner. He does some sea shanties. And Trey Myers, which is one of the firefighters in Bowers Beach, and he does some country music, and he's really well established after working with us here. And then we have the headliner that starts at 6 to 8. So it's wonderful.
That is, and it really does bring the community together. And I think having that 15 minutes is really fun.
Yeah.
So you get to see, you know, I don't really want to say amateurs because they're not necessarily, but it brings everyone together. It's your local act.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, once you get your stage fright out of
Yes.
you, and I mean, this year they're getting a little bit more familiar with the equipment, and we're getting more familiar with Mr. Tony Albano, our sound man. He's a wonderful guy. He also has a company called We Carve, and he's also a magic with his woodworking. It's something else.
Well, speaking of woodworking, what do we have in front of us? Because obviously this is a big part of what you guys have going on, too.
We said music and arts show.
Yes. Well, this year I decided when I was away, can't sit still and want to try to build this, develop the arts part of this program. Not that music is not arts,
Sure.
but something for the people. These are something I came up with for each band. We're going to have them autographed. They're wall hangers also.
Yes.
You could hang your hat if you see the hook on it.
Yep.
And we're going to raffle them off like a 50-50 thing, but at least you get some artistry out of it. And hopefully we get some other people that want to come down. I was speaking to somebody in the lobby tonight, and he said that they're interested in coming on a Saturday morning to develop some art. So the more people that know what we're doing, the better.
Of course.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, we think this is a good program, but what got you into this? How did you decide this was something you wanted to give your time to?
Well, there was a tornado had hit Bowers Beach, and I was a parks commissioner at the time, and we were cleaning up the mess with DENREC and the forestry department, and I had overlooked the park, and I had done music for 40 years in New Jersey, Philadelphia, and Delaware, and obviously retired at this point from being on stage. I had my time in the sun. Sure. But I said, boy, this would be a great event, to our mayor, Ada Puzo, and she said, what do you need? And the rest was history at this point. This is season 4, and we're all local volunteers. from Tony to 3 other volunteers, Jay Baker, Doug Shuck, and Mark Puzo stepped up, and you know, it's nothing short of magical when you're there. We're not just famous for our music now, because I'm calling it the best show, outdoor show in Kent County. So that's pretty much where we're at, that people are just walking away like, I had no idea that this was here. And it's free.
That makes that's the right price.
Exactly.
Right.
And how have the crowds grown over the last couple of years?
Well, we started out with 80, and now we're up to like 175.
Nice.
And the performers are so accomplished, from the Delaware Blues Society with Ken Belmont, Roger Girk. There's multiple talented musicians from all over the 3 counties. So it is wonderful. Yeah.
You guys have some good swag too. We haven't shown the T-shirts yet, but you got the horseshoe crab there, which of course Bowers Beach also has a lot of horseshoe crabs, if you didn't know. And I like that he has a guitar too.
Yeah, I love
cool?
this. Anytime you get a good T-shirt, some good swag to go along with what you got is the fun time, the nice night out. It seems like the kind of thing that everybody can enjoy and be a part of.
Yes.
Exactly. Family friendly, bringing the community together.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned that it's free. For people who are interested in attending or looking at the lineup maybe every time, where should they go to get all the information?
Well, we're on First Beach Music and Arts on Facebook. If you look at Bowers Beach Maritime Museum, and we have a little page on there.
Perfect.
But if we have these banners, if you want to take a picture of them, put it up on the screen.
We'll get that up for you.
But yeah, we'd love to have you down. And you know, it's like I said, it's a family event, and Bowers Beach is also known for its migration of the purple martins, which are arriving last couple days. The laughing gulls are there now. They're there to. They're like marauders to get the eggs from the horseshoe crab. And then in the winter months, we have the migration of the white Canadian snow geese, which we call the blizzard in Bowers Beach.
They come flying.
Yeah, it's a spectacular place. Come see the bay. Spend a whole day at Bowers Beach, and we usually are out there 10 a.m. till 8 at night, and just come by, have a sandwich, enjoy Bowers Beach. Bring a chair, and later in the season, bring some bug spray.
There you go. Great little tip.
Yes.
Fantastic. So remind us again when all of this kicks off and when people can start.
May 16th is our first show, and we'll be there all day. But the first acts come on from 5 to 6, and then the headline is from 6 to 8. And we go from May, June, July, August, and September. Perfect. 3rd Fridays.
There you go. Mark those 3rd Fridays on your calendar.
Put it on the calendar. Make sure you mark it down so you don't forget, because this is seems like a really fun event to go to.
Absolutely.
For sure. Well, Tink, thank you so much for coming in, bringing all the goods that you brought with us. Those are going to be really cool auction items or raffle items towards the end of the season for this. And I know you're doing a great job bringing the community together and celebrating the performing and the visual arts.
Amen. The town of Bowers, and like I said, the mayor and the town council are just on board with everything that we're doing, and it's exciting to have the town council be a part of this too.
Glad to hear
Makes it all a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
Of course. Well, thanks again, Tink, for coming in. Coming up on Coast Life, though, maybe it's time that you adopt a pup. We've got a perfect fit for you.
Missed out on some of your favorite Coast Life moments? Don't forget to check us out on our social media platforms. Catch up on full episodes at coastlife.com and share some of the fun with your friends on our YouTube page. Don't go anywhere. There's more Coast Life headed your way.
We are standing out here on a beautiful day on Delmarva, and we've got some friends to introduce you to. Lee McKinley with Humane Animal Partners, and she's got her little friend. Is this Lori down here?
This is Lori,
oh
yes.
My gosh,
Little pint-sized Lori.
How you doing? So, Lee, we've got Lori here. Kind of tell us about this pup, because she seems super lovable and she seems really easy to deal with.
Oh, she is wonderful. She is about 3 years old. A good mix of a lot of breeds, we think. Not exactly sure which one's going to stand out on top, but at 3 years old, she's full grown. So
this is the size, because that's pretty manageable.
Absolutely, yeah. She's our little pint-sized pup here, and she is definitely an energetic dog. She loves to run around the play yard. She has dog friends at the shelter, so they have a great time back there. And in fact, one of our volunteers just took her to the beach, and she had a blast. So she's a beach dog too, which she can't get much better than that.
So keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, good beach dog seems to get along well with other dogs.
Absolutely.
So if you got more than one, probably wants a little bit of room to roam, maybe, just in terms of how energetic she is.
Yep, she can run, so she likes to stretch her legs.
So if somebody is looking to adopt their first dog, maybe this is, they see Lee and they like, or they see
Lori.
You're Lee, they see Lori and they're like, that's the one I
want.
What does a first-time dog adopter need to know about how, what it's going to run them, how much stuff they're going to need?
Right, so we like to make matches in terms of lifestyle, really. So, with a dog like Lori, if you have an active lifestyle, you like to go on walks on the beach, on the trails, around the neighborhood, then a dog like Lori would be a perfect fit for you. If you like to just sort of chill in the backyard most summer evenings, then you might choose a dog that's a little bit less energy.
A little more sedentary.
Yeah, exactly, and that's okay too.
You want to have something that fits your life so they fit into it, so you're not both kind of pulling against each other all the time.
Exactly. We want to fit what you're looking for, the human, but also what we know the dog is going to need to have a long, healthy, successful life. So it goes both ways.
And what's going on with your guys' adoptions overall? How are things? Are you packed? Are you trying to get dogs out the door? Where do things stand for you?
Sure. Thank you for asking that question. Well, we're always looking for more adoptions. And I would say adoptions are slower than we'd like. And I think that's a product of all the stuff that's going on in the world, the economy, the access to veterinary care, and again, people's lifestyles. Maybe they want to travel more and aren't looking to have that responsibility at home. So we're hoping that they do pick up as the summer comes closer and people are outside more, and they can fit a dog or a cat into their lifestyle. But it has been a little bit slower, and in fact that's actually a nationwide statistic. It's not just for our organization or for Delaware, it's nationwide. So
well, this little one is rolling around and just having an absolute ball. I cannot imagine anything more enjoyable than coming home and getting all the love and attention you might get out of this little gal. If you want to adopt, whether it's her, whether it's one of the other animals that you guys have, how does somebody go about it? Where can they go?
We'll always recommend folks jump on our website, humaneanimalpartners.org. That shows you pictures of all the adoptable animals at our 3 locations, Rehoboth, Wilmington, and Stanton. And those change daily when dogs come in, or cats come in, or they get adopted. So the pictures are real time. You can submit the questionnaire right from the website, and that just helps us make that match that we just talked about. Gives us information on what you're looking for. Other than that, stop in. You can talk to us about the animals you're interested in and meet them as well, so we can see if it's a good fit.
Well, we hope that if you have the opportunity, if you're thinking about it, if you're on the cusp, it sounds like there's a lot of animals that need a forever home, including this little gal right here, who's got an adopt me sign right on the leash.
Yeah.
So we hope you get a chance to get give me some kisses. We really do. This is our pet of the week, and we have more Coast Life coming up.
She said more,
right
please.
After the break.
Well, if you remember a few weeks ago, we sent Charlie out to hang out with our friends at Southern Delaware Therapeutic Riding, which is such an incredible organization, operation. They help kids and adults with disabilities through equine therapy, which is very unique and very rewarding. Don't forget, they are always looking for volunteers. And they also have their Kentucky Derby party coming up this weekend. The event itself is actually sold out. You guys are so good at supporting the community, and I know you love a good party, and that's exactly what this is going to be. I know there's serving mint juleps, and they basically just turn the arena into the Kentucky Derby itself. So it's going to be tons of fun if you are there. We want to see tons of pictures. We want to see the hats, the outfits, the costumes that you have put together for this event. Make sure you snap some photos, send them our way. But speaking of the Derby, of course, it is all about the horses. Charlie had an opportunity to get let's say an expert opinion from one of the horses himself on who he thinks is going to take one of the crowns.
The Kentucky Derby is coming up this weekend, and we are going to get some expert advice, not from somebody that covers horse racing. We're going to get it from a horse. This is Izzy. We're here at Southern Delaware Therapeutic Riding, and I got some questions for Izzy. So Izzy, we got a top 5 for you to talk about. I can see you're excited. You want any thoughts? No? Here, what do you think about Burnham Square? That's one of the horses. You think Burnham Square's a dud? A dud? You know Burnham Square? You think you're faster? Izzy says he's faster. So what about Sandman? Sandman's another one of those top 5. Sandman's not a mutter, so if it rains, he's in trouble. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if it rains. This next one, I swear this is one of the names of the horses. Journalism. You know he's underpaid. What do you think about journalism, Izzy? Hard worker? Doesn't have it in. All right, well, you know what? I like journalism. That's my favorite pick. Go pick journalism, but Izzy says no. Rodriguez, any thoughts? Oh, Izzy likes Rodriguez a little bit. Keep that. Mark it down. Maybe not a winner. Izzy's involved. And then we have Tiz-tastic. That is one of the... Izzy says it's a lock. Izzy says it's a lock. Tiz-tastic, his favorite horse. They grew up together back in the day. They used to hang out. They used to jump over fences, cause a lot of trouble. Izzy went the wrong way, got in a little bit of trouble for eating the wrong oats and got sent over here, but says that is the way to go. So get ready for the Kentucky Derby that's coming up this week. And also don't forget that Southern Delaware Therapeutic Riding, they have a big Kentucky Derby event that's happening right here where we are. We've got all that information. We'll put that up on the screen for you so you can see it. And Izzy, thank you for being such a good sport. Well, that was rude. Izzy says he should be in the race, and he just doesn't know why he's not. I believe you, Izzy. I can't help you out, but we can help you guys out. Make sure to stick around. We have more Coast Life coming your way.
Well, if you've ever been to Pfeiffer's in Camden, Wyoming, or if you've taken a visit to their Dewey Beach Market location, then you know there's always something fun and there's always something fresh to be had at Pfeiffer's. Today we're going to feature their strawberries a little bit. Look how gorgeous they are, that perfect red color. They're all just, not a single runt in any of these strawberries. But also want to remind you that starting this Saturday, they're kicking off Spring Fest. So every Saturday at Pfeiffer's, closer to their Dover location, you're going to have plenty of live music. You're going to have plenty of events. Ice cream, you can check out the cafe. And I have to say, if you've never tried ice cream at Pfeiffer's, you are missing out, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not really the biggest ice cream eater, but I can't resist ordering some ice cream when I go to Pfeiffer's because it's just that good and it's just gonna be that much fun. So make sure you check it out. There's gonna be plenty to do. And of course, their Dewey Beach location also opening back up. So if you need some fresh produce and you're closer to the beach side, you can do that as well. They also have that deli and cafe space. So it's just gonna be a really fun summer at Pfeiffer's and spring. We gotta get through spring first. But Charlie is getting ready for Coast TV News at 5. That is up next. Have a good day and we'll see you on Monday.